What is your discipline? The only path to true freedom. These powerful words from the ancient Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus cut straight to the heart of mastering ourselves. Because freedom doesn't come from doing whatever we want. True freedom emerges from the inner discipline to act with intention and purpose. In our modern world, obsessed with motivational quick fixes and viral self-help tactics, the concept of self-discipline has been watered down. We're told to wake up and recite positive affirmations or buy the latest program that unlocks our potential with a few simple hacks. But the ancient Stoics would scoff at such superficial techniques. See, they weren't just lecturers theorizing about virtue. They were ardent practitioners committed to a lifelong journey of self-mastery. People like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus spent their days training their minds, mastering their impulses, and cultivating an unshakable philosophical fortitude to withstand any external circumstance. To the Stoics, self-discipline was the highest virtue, the ability to live with clarity, resilience, and an iron-willed alignment between your deepest values and your actions. This wisdom is just as urgently needed today as it was thousands of years ago. That's why in this video, you'll be initiated into the timeless Stoic path to self-discipline. No cheap motivational mind tricks or rah-rah pep talks. Just pragmatic, profound strategies to transform your mindset and life, including forging unbreakable self-control to overcome the endless distractions and temptations that try to derail you. Embracing the effort is the prize mentality, to fall in love with the work and struggle required for mastery. Discovering your guiding North Star life purpose that fuels self-discipline on even your darkest days. And much more hard-won wisdom from the lives and teachings of the legendary Stoic practitioners. But this is not just passive viewing. The insights contained here only yield results through diligent integration into your daily existence. So I invite you to stay engaged throughout. Take notice on what resonates and share your own hard-earned perspectives in the comments below. Because this ancient Stoic journey demands an initiation, a radical recommitment to look inward, shed limiting beliefs, and rededicate yourself to embodying your highest philosophical values. With that said, let me remind you to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you never miss future mind-forging videos that reveal the secrets of Stoicism and other timeless warrior philosophies. Most define self-discipline as making yourself do what you should, even when you don't want to. But to the ancient Stoic practitioners, it was the entire philosophical opus of how to live. Self-control. If there's one thing that separates those with true self-discipline from those who are all talk, it's self-control. See, we all want to think we have willpower when things are going smoothly. But the real test comes when we face temptations, impulses, and distractions trying to derail us. The ancient Stoics knew that self-control wasn't something that just happened automatically. It's a muscle that needs to be exercised and strengthened over time through self-awareness and conscious practice. One of the most renowned Stoics, Epictetus, taught that freedom doesn't come from being able to just do whatever you feel like in the moment. That's actually enslavement to your impulses, desires, and emotions. True freedom, Epictetus said, comes from having mastery over yourself. He used the metaphor of having two jars, one for things under your control like your thoughts, efforts, and choices, and another for external things beyond your control like reputation, wealth, or what others think of you. The untrained person obsesses over the jar of external uncontrollable factors, but the self-disciplined person focuses solely on perfecting what's in their control, their own conduct. So how did the Stoics actually build this self-control muscle? By facing temptations and distractions head-on, not avoiding them. They celebrated overcoming challenges to their self-discipline as victories for the day. For example, the next time you feel that irresistible urge to mindlessly scroll social media or react emotionally to something that upset you, consciously pause and opt for the more disciplined response instead. Over time, these small acts of self-control compound into steely inner resilience. Seneca summed up this purposeful self-control practice beautifully when he wrote, "I never spend an idle day, but I appropriate part of it to the study of philosophy. Even when I'm occupied with other people's affairs, I still find some time for pursuing self-improvement. That's true freedom and self-discipline in action. Because at the end of the day, we can't control every external circumstance that comes our way. There will always be temptations and distractions vying for our attention, but what defines us is how we exercise self-control over our own responses, staying the philosophical course, unshaken from our intentions. That's how we forge true self-mastery over time. Work ethic. While self-control lays the foundation for self-discipline, the Stoics also placed tremendous emphasis on work ethic and productive effort. See, they viewed human beings as having an essential nature, one oriented towards applying our skills, talents, and energy in service of some higher purpose. As the Roman emperor and Stoic practitioner Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of? If I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do." To the Stoics, our uniquely human traits like rationality and conscientiousness weren't meant to be squandered lying in bed all day. We are industrious creatures by nature, with an innate drive and sense of purpose pushing us towards productivity and contribution. This work ethic mindset went far beyond just career ambition or money-making pursuits, though. The Stoics were just as likely to lionize the humble efforts of ants, bees, or even plants as examples of how all beings in nature naturally orient themselves towards some greater unifying labor. We are all participants in a grand act of collective perseverance. But what if you struggle with laziness, procrastination, or just an overall lack of motivation in your endeavors? The Stoics would pointedly ask, do you truly love yourself and honor your human nature? You see, they viewed idleness and inaction as fundamentally betraying your identity as a human being. As Aurelius sternly questioned, what is your core desire? To become a helpless plant or an incapable animal? Both simply consume what they are given. He clearly saw purposeful, self-directed industry and craftsmanship as key aspects to living a fulfilling philosophical life. The Stoics prescribed embodying what they termed the craftsman mindset, taking great care and diligent effort in everything you do, no matter how small, viewing your actions as part of fashioning your life's magnum opus. So while you may work towards big, overarching goals, you also find meaning and satisfaction in pouring your fullest intentions into even mundane daily tasks. This craftsman's perspective essentially made the effort itself the prize. Rather than viewing hard work as a draining means to some future end state, the effort becomes the reward in itself, honoring your true human nature. And let's be honest, no lofty ambition or noble cause was ever achieved without persistent work ethic and productive effort over the long haul. The blessing and the burden of being human is that greatness requires showing up consistently with concentrated energy and perseverance to refine your craft each day. By embracing our innate drive towards purposeful industriousness, we start moving in lockstep with nature's universal cadence. Laziness, excuse-making, and distractions slowly lose their grip because we've rededicated ourselves to the underlying current that pulses through all of existence, the relentless march of creative, productive energy, finding your aim. Of course, self-control and industrious effort alone aren't enough for self-mastery. The Stoics understood the essential need for having an overarching sense of purpose, a guiding North Star mission that fuels and directs your self-discipline. After all, you can develop ironclad willpower and a tireless work ethic, but without a clear, meaningful aim, you'll simply be a high-functioning machine, bouncing chaotically from one trivial pursuit to the next. Self-discipline, devoid of purpose, is aimless and self-defeating. Seneca warned of those who labor diligently, yet aim at no goal, no purpose, any general plan of life, but are tossed about in confusion by shifting breezes. How many fiercely disciplined workaholics do you know who seem to just be going through a futile, endless grind for its own sake? That's why the Stoics taught to relentlessly question, introspect upon, and ultimately discover your rational, virtuous life purpose. Not just roles, goals, or ambitions, but a unifying, cosmic mission that guides all your pursuits and self-discipline. For Marcus Aurelius, this was a lifetime committed to Stoic philosophy, virtuous rulership, and service to humanity. But what about for the average person living in more ordinary modern existence? The purpose doesn't have to be monumental, world-changing work, but it has to feel personally meaningful and aligned with your values. Maybe your North Star is being the most nurturing, virtuous parent you can possibly be, or excelling in your skilled craft, not just for money or accolades, but for the noble human flourishing it allows. The point is, the Stoics believed to develop true self-discipline, you must uncover your guiding purpose and bake it into your identity. Let it serve as your check engine light anytime you veer off course through poor habits, distractions, or temporary impulses. With this self-awareness, self-discipline becomes less of a chore and more like realigning yourself with an internal compass. Now, discovering this purpose doesn't mean you'll have perfect, unwavering discipline from that point on. Even Marcus Aurelius, in the rarefied position of being one of the most powerful people in the world, had to regularly realign himself in his writings and rituals. Self-discipline isn't a final destination you arrive at, but a continual philosophical exercise to be recommitted to daily. But with that North Star mission blazing in your mind's eye, self-discipline transforms from just grinding through obligations into a purposeful embodiment of your values and highest potential. Your habits, decisions, efforts, and perseverance all bend towards realizing this singular purpose over the long run. There will still be days filled with temptations to succumb to laziness and distractions, times when mustering self-control and sustained effort feel arduous. But by anchoring in your ultimate why, the impact you want to have on yourself and the world around you, you fortify yourself with the self-motivation to persist through any obstacle. Self-discipline stops being a draining battle of wills and becomes the natural living outpouring of your life's overarching intention and sense of life purpose. Conclusion. So there you have an initiation into the timeless Stoic path of self-discipline, a chance to radically reforge the very way you approach willpower, resilience, and purposeful living. We explored how true self-control isn't something you're born with, but a philosophical muscle developed over time through repeated practice and conscious effort. It represents the highest form of freedom, having dominion over your own impulses, emotions, and unconscious habits. We examined how the Stoics saw human beings as innately industrious beings, with an instinctive nature towards productive, innovative efforts. By tapping into this work ethic mentality, hard work itself becomes the reward, a meditation in expressing your fullest potential. And finally, we unpacked the concept of having a defined, virtuous life purpose serving as the guiding North Star for all your self-discipline and efforts. A singular, cosmic mission, uniquely aligned with your beliefs and values that provide structural integrity and meaning to your self-motivated actions. But remember, self-discipline was never depicted as a destination to arrive at for the ancient Stoics, but an ongoing philosophical journey and series of practices, a continual refinement and embodiment of what it means to live with intentional alignment as a human being. So while these teachings originate from ancient Greece and Rome, their essence could not be more urgently relevant today. We live in a world where ubiquitous technologies, devices, and media increasingly bend us towards impulsive reactivity and enslavement to our animalistic urges. Developing Stoic self-discipline is a reclamation of our uniquely human capacities. It is an intentional countercurrent to mindless consumerism, digital time wasting, and lack of purpose so prevalent in modern society. With self-control, we sidestep incessant temptations. With industriousness, we resist entropy and uplift the human spirit through productive craftsmanship. And with purposeful alignment, we avoid merely existing as aimless distractions from our highest potential. The Stoics were not cloistered theorists, but ardent philosophers of action and discipline. Their teachings present an invitation to look inward, refine your intentions, and rededicate yourself to the highest philosophical ideals. not just as a tool to crush your goals, but as a way to fully embody and live with virtue. The path will not be easy, and there will be periods of lapse, weakness, and doubt, but that's precisely the point. Because in those moments of faltering self-discipline, we have the opportunity to recommit, realign, and strengthen our command over our impulses. It's a process of continually rediscovering our indomitable human will and life's purpose. So I invite you to take the first steps today, perhaps rewatching this material and noting which specific teachings resonate most, or seeking out the original writings from the ancient Stoic masters. Let curiosity inspire you towards action as you build philosophical skulls just like muscular ones through sustained, diligent practice. Because in the end, the path of Stoic self-discipline is far more than just a way to power through grueling workouts or wake up unerringly at 5 a.m. It is, at its very core, a reclamation of what it means to live as a human being, with intentionality, with productive industriousness, and in harmonious alignment with nature and your highest virtues. It's a timeless call to look inward, shed the unessential, and devote yourself to the lifelong pursuit of embodying your unconquered philosophical potentia. So stay disciplined, stay present, and keep forging that indomitable Stoic mindset, one intentional day at a time.